What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So just today, thanks to a recent subscriber, he informed me that RedChip had an interview with Nano Dimension CEO Yoav Stern. And this happened yesterday on October 19th. So this is very, very new stuff. They're a small cap investment publication and research firm. They look into smaller companies and then put material out there in various networks like Bloomberg and Roku. And they have a 30-minute segment called the Money Report. So Yoav Stern breaks the 3D printed circuit board market into two sections, which Yoav Stern mentions are the sub-industries to basically all electronics, which are going to be printed circuit boards and semiconductors. Dave Gentry, the interviewer, then asked Yoav Stern about the market potential for this. I was hoping he would ask him this question. So Yoav Stern says that in a couple years, maybe even 4 to 5 years out, and I think this is specifically for Nano Dimension, he says the market's going to be $800 to even $1 billion. Price right now is $3.60 exactly, so we're going to get $3.60 and multiply that by the 45 million shares outstanding. And we have a market cap of $162 million right now. And he's expecting sales to be in the $1 billion area in the next 5 years. So in terms of valuation, that's just something I would consider. We can also figure out our own numbers based on the cost of the machine, which he also talks about. And I'll do some math on the potential sales that we can see in Nano Dimension in the future. So initially, a majority of their business was the academic side. So a lot of universities are probably buying up Nano Dimension machines and using them in their schools. But now a majority of their customers are mostly, if not all, American defense suppliers. Not only can they sell the machines to different customers, but they can also use the machine as a service. So the machine costs between $350,000 and $400,000 per unit. And not all the companies have the access to the capital required to buy one of these machines. Their next best option is to use them as a service. Essentially, all they would need is to send them a file and to tell them certain specifications. And with some super fast shipping in maybe even like 2 or 3 days, they could have their prototype in their hands. A few days might be stretching it, but it's a lot faster than traditional prototyping. And as a service right now, they have 3 printers. They have one in Hong Kong, one in Florida, and one in Israel. Now, the next super important thing for Nano Dimension is all the cash they've been raising, and what are they going to do with all that cash? So Yoav mentioned they have $65 million in cash right now with pretty much zero debt. And they're expecting a new version of the Dragonfly in Q2 of next year, so Q2 2021, and they plan to use that money for mostly marketing and sales for the company. He made no mention of research and development. I don't think that means they're not going to be doing R&D. It's just they're using this immediate access to capital to quickly get to market. And whatever sales they do get from this marketing campaign, I would imagine they could pour back into R&D. He then mentions how he got shareholders excited to invest in their company. And the main point I saw Yoav go across with this is that it's not a biotech company. So all the risk you have associated with a biotech company, for example, in its growth phase is if something doesn't work in the genome or DNA, I don't know, I'm not a biotech expert, but basically if something doesn't work, it's basically bust. It goes to nothing. And with Nano Dimension, they're not really in that point right now. They have a lot of patents. They have early adopted customers already, who I would imagine would be interested in more and more advanced products as they are released, especially if it makes operations for them even easier than they were before. But the fact is that Nano Dimension hasn't even hit its inflection point. And the inflection point is their rapid expansion phase. This is where we'll really see the potential for Nano Dimension as a company to see really how big they can get. Yoav Stern predicts they'll have between 400 and 500 plus in the academic sector alone, and then up to 10 times that, or 5,000 in the defense and other segments. So we're going to do 500 machines plus the 5,000 that he's talking about. And he did mention that these machines were going for $350,000 to $400,000 a piece. So I'm going to go with the smaller number. I'm going to say 350,000 machines. So according to Yoav Stern, they are expecting a $2 billion market just for the 3D printed circuit boards. And I think this is just in sales alone. And this doesn't cover the entire market. I believe this is mainly just defense and academics at this point. And as far as analyst coverage, he did mention that there is 1 or 2 analysts covering them now. They just haven't published the reports yet. According to him, he believes it was Think Equity and Needham Co. I have them pulled up here. Think Equity is a boutique investment bank created by experienced professionals that have worked together for over a decade. They manage $50 billion, okay? And Needham is an independent investment bank and asset management firm specializing in advisory services and, managing people's money. And at the very end of the interview, Dave Gentry dropped a really interesting Easter egg in there. I mean, I don't think it's an Easter egg. I mean, it's obvious. It's not an Easter egg. He said he owns 75,000 shares of Nano Dimension. He didn't tell anyone to buy Nano Dimension, but he did put his money where his mouth is, allegedly. But pretty much that's the entire interview wrapped up there. If you want to see the interview, I'm going to put the link underneath. You can go and check it out, watch it, and come back, leave a few comments, and let me know what you think about it. Again, I highly encourage you guys to interact with the channel. There's nothing to lose to read a few comments and get some more insight. Thank you guys for watching and getting this far in the video. I hope you guys got something really useful out of this interview. I know I did. Who better to get your information than from the CEO of the company himself? And I hope Nano Dimension can really deliver on all those promises, because if they do, it's gonna be very nice. Remember to like the video and even consider subscribing if you learned something. And don't forget to hit that bell notification to get notified when I make videos just like this one. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.